must I be so fragile? Why can't I turn back the dial to a time where I don't remember, when I had a lovely December, back when I was a child, before being perpetually tried, back when there was no pain, when I wasn't slightly insane, there was no illness of brain, just a boy with everything to gain. Social anxiety to me is my heart pounding when I feel like someone is judging me. It's my mind racing when I'm trying to sleep at night. It's my stomach churning when I'm with large groups of people.
Social anxiety to me is being afraid in social situations and not really understanding why you're afraid.
Social anxiety is when I think about doing something that scares me and my stomach gets really tight, and when it gets really bad I can't do anything at all, and when it's not that bad I pretty much just walk around feeling kind of sick all day.
Well, it's just sort of an intense fear that comes up whenever you are speaking to people, whether or not they're people you know or strangers, or in any sort of social event.
When I first experienced social anxiety, I was probably like 14 or 15 or something like that, and I didn't know what was going on. I didn't understand what was happening to me. I thought that I was just a weirdo, basically, who didn't know how to socialize with people. I thought that I was different from everybody else, and I thought that people saw me as weird. It got worse when I went to high school, because I felt like I was forced to pick like groups to be in with different people, and like going to the cafeteria I thought that I had to like talk to different people and make new friends and stuff like that, and I just wasn't very good at that.
I kind of feel like I've had social anxiety basically all my life. I mean, I even remember being in like preschool and just like being around people, my heart would just race and my stomach would get sore, and then like I had no idea what anxiety was. Like Tyler had mentioned, it's like you don't know what it is, you don't know what's going on, and I feel like it got worse over time as I got older. It became more frequent and more intense, especially in like middle school and high school, especially with like a lot more people, because I found a lot of people bullied me, and that kind of increased my social anxiety a lot. I would miss a lot of school just because I'd be scared to get bullied and I'd be scared to talk to people. But like at a certain point, I kind of said to myself that I'm going to start fighting it. So I tried to fight it and try to talk to people more, and I was a little bit more successful, but it was still there. And it kind of reached a plateau at a certain point too in high school, and it just didn't get any worse, but it didn't get any better at the same time. So, and then I eventually got on a medication that helped it a lot. And ever since, it's been a lot better, but it's still there.
It's something that I've kind of experienced my whole life, and I didn't really understand it to be social anxiety. I just thought it was shyness, and by the time I was a late teenager, probably 16, 17, it got really bad. I stopped going to school and everything else, stopped speaking to people really. But since then, it's gotten a lot better. As I've grown older, I've sort of learned how to deal with it and learned how to build skills to deal with it.
Yeah, I do take medication currently. I have in the past, different medication. I find it's pretty effective. I find it basically reduces almost like I kind of call it the nonsensical anxiety, kind of the anxiety that appears out of nowhere and seems to have no cause. I find it basically it lowers the peaks in my anxiety too. You know, it's more like almost like a valley, I guess.
I take 2 medications for my social anxiety. It's effective when I take it at the right time, and when, like, if I take it when I'm not supposed to take it or something like that, it can just send me into a deep, like, hole depression or something.
I used to take medications when I was younger, when I was about 17, 18. Since then, I stopped. I didn't like the idea of having something else affecting my growth and like how I was doing. And now, actually, I'm considering going on a new medication, so that'll be exciting.
I do meditation, I do yoga, I go to the flotation tank, and usually I'll just try and talk to people. Like, it helps with my anxiety. Like, the more that I talk to people, I think that it helps. The more that I talk to people, I think that the more it helps my social anxiety.
Mm-hmm. Sort of like exposure? Or?
Yeah.
There's a lot of those skills, like everyone gets taught like CBT and mindfulness and sort of opposite action. So if it's exposure, like that type of thing, where you really have to just kind of think about it and think it through and do things that are hard, and then you kind of build skills to manage that.
I do CBT sometimes when it's like very severe anxiety, and I find deep breathing also helps too. And then just like simple things like drinking glasses of water, I find, like, especially if I'm tired, because I notice when I'm tired I get more anxious, but cold water like if you don't drink enough water it can be linked to dehydration and like make you feel more tired, so it kind of exacerbates the anxiety. And there's actually a new thing I've been trying lately. I've read that fish oil can help anxiety, so I've been trying to take it before I would feel anxious, and it seems to be helping.
Sometimes. I think a lot of, if anybody's ever experienced what anxiety feels like, they know that it's not just being shy. But I think definitely older people, I know like my family doesn't really understand it, and if I were to try to explain what social anxiety was to my mom or dad, they would probably just tell me not to be dramatic. So I think there's definitely different groups of people that maybe don't take it as seriously as they could.
A lot of people from my past, I had teachers who actually would say, oh, he's just shy. Or I had one teacher who came up, I'm getting a bit personal, but I had one teacher who came up to me before, and she was like, why don't you talk? And I was like, I don't know. Like, and she was like, did something happen to you as a child? And I was like, no, nothing happened to me. But like, that was like I think about that, and like that's an example of someone not really like realizing this person just has social anxiety. Like, it's not that he's like thinking of something traumatic that happened to him or something like that.
I definitely do. I mean, even my uncle, he thinks that I used to be antisocial. But the funny thing is, he also has mental illness himself. It kind of frustrates me, and it makes me mad to think like he thinks that it's being antisocial, and it's just I'm scared as hell to talk to people.
Yeah, I think there is a degree of that in our society. Everyone experiences anxiety around social situations. So I think people's mentality is that you're supposed to just suck it up and push through it. So I think people don't fully understand that it is an actual disorder that is separate from just normal social shyness and antisocial.
some should. I mean, some do take it seriously and some don't. Like my current doctor, at first, I kind of feel he wasn't taking me very seriously. He almost kind of said I was kind of fragile in my personality. And I don't know, that kind of made me like mad. And he was like, you lack confidence or something. But he was like, he didn't really consider it that serious. He thinks like, I don't know, sort of it's just a facet of my personality or something. I don't know.
I think so. I find that like therapists that I've talked to about social anxiety are pretty good about it, but kind of general practitioners maybe don't take it as seriously as they could, especially when it comes to like medication and that. I think they think social anxiety is something you should be able to fix on your own by just kind of getting over it and going and doing it anyway, and sometimes that's not possible.
Yeah, I think a lot of them definitely could. I think a lot of doctors and psychiatrists just kind of treat it as like a general anxiety disorder and don't really understand the rest of it.
I think they could take it more seriously. My experience with healthcare professionals is them giving me medication and saying, take this and you'll feel better, but it doesn't work that way. It's definitely not like that. I feel like you have to do a bunch of things to support you. You can't just take a pill and then you're gonna not be anxious anymore.
Be bold. The reason why I can stand in front of all of you today with social anxiety is because I'm bold. Because I know what I've been through. And I know that there's more. I know that I can inspire. I know that I have value. So know that you have value. Don't let anyone tell you that you don't.